I've done the computer.
Okay, we're recording. Here we go.
All right. So briefly before we get started on what Jen and I have worked on, I've talked to Jen about this and Lauren about I've had a lot of feedback that the Essentially Empowered group is awesome, but too large. So a lot of people are getting a little bit overwhelmed with just the number of people and the number of questions and that kind of stuff. So we've been talking a little bit about not trying to necessarily make a smaller version of it, but just to make one maybe starting from Jen down that would be that would give us kind of a platform to maybe do, like, what did we decide, weekly or every other week, like a Facebook Live of 10 minutes of like your favorite first aid kit for hiking or something like that. So it wouldn't have to be like long classes, but just some sort of educational platform that's a little bit smaller. So we wanted to kind of throw that out to you guys and see if anyone's interested. So
yeah, so basically what it would look like Missy was talking about doing it with just possibly her team, and I was like, well, would you want me to invite my other builders and stuff? And she's like, yeah, of course. So whoever would want to be involved in it, basically we would kind of switch off doing different like live things. So it could be like the Steins are so good at the DIYs and stuff like that, and just stuff to give our users content and highlight the oil of the month and those types of things, so that they're just more engaged and have more ideas of how to use their oils. Because I agree, I feel like the Essentially Empowered page is awesome, and let's continue to add people to it, but sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming. So feel free to, this is meant to be interactive, friends, so feel free to chime in and let us know your thoughts, or if you have any ideas or you want to, or you're like, nah, I don't want to do that.
So would we still be inviting people to Essentially Empowered and this new group, or would we just funnel people into this new group and kind of do our own thing? Because I get worried if they're already overwhelmed with Essentially Empowered and then we invite them to two groups, and it's like more overwhelmed for them. So that's where, I don't know. I like the idea, but I feel like we should eliminate something if we're going to add something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good concern.
Yeah, I think it's a good concern. I think that, for myself, I kind of want to do this either way with Missy, if you guys want to do it or not. Because I think that we talked about also being able to add people to it who aren't yet enrolled. And I think that that's part of what it'll provide a lot of opportunity to educate people outside of just doing a one-on-one class and getting them to do that, but like have them in this group and learning and exposed to oils that aren't local. And we can't do that with Essentially Empowered. Essentially Empowered is only for users. So then when I think what I will do is when people enroll, I'll explain what Essentially Empowered is and say, hey, if you want me to add you to this group as well, there's a lot more people on it. There's a lot more resources for when you feel like, you don't know the answer to something you want to ask. It's a really good place for that. And there's also a lot of good content there. And then, if they want to be added to Essentially Empowered as well, they can. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have a group like that already that like Tina and Angie and I use as like users and people that are interested, and I post like my Synduit post to it and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'd be maybe open to like switching those people to that, or opening that up to everyone. I don't know, but I guess I'd have to feel it out to see like what I think would be best for the people that I work with.
And the goal is to, we were kind of thinking of not having like a platform for people to necessarily ask questions, because we didn't want it to be we didn't want it to completely replicate that and give us more work to have to like go through and filter random questions. It would be more of like the Facebook Live type of thing, like whether it's twice a month or something like that.
Right.
So that was kind of what we were thinking. And then Lauren and I did a booth the other night, and we were actually wondering like what you guys thought of this, of having like whatever the Facebook group is, having like a computer or like a tablet set up at the booth. So you're like, hey, do you want more information? Just like sign up right there. I don't know if anyone's ever done that before.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I actually like that idea a lot.
Just to take away that email step.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I hate emails. So, what about you, Stans? What do you think?
Well, we already have a Facebook page together, just
Mhm.
because that's like our little platform of sending people to before they have oils and after. So I think it'd be hard to add one more thing, because I feel like our biggest complaint is people are confused. There's just so much stuff. They're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with the different groups, and then if they're potentially a builder, all of a sudden it just gets way more overwhelming. So, I mean, for us, we'll probably just stick to our Facebook page. We're trying to build that. And that's where we do all like our DIYs, our Facebook Live and stuff.
Yeah. So maybe, I mean, what I'm kind of hearing is that it might be best, since Jill kind of has her page that she's going with and the Steins have theirs that they're going with, for you to just set one up for your team, Missy. And I'd be happy in supporting you with that too and contributing to it for sure. But
yeah, that works to keep it small.
But yeah,
Jen, quit doing that. Every time you slap that thing against your chest, it like slaps.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. I always have to be doing something with my hands. I'm out of in tune, if you can't tell. I'm like really shitty right now.
I have a question though between the Steins and Jill. Like, would you guys have a recommendation of a Facebook page versus a group? Like the benefits of one or the other?
Oh, I struggled with that. So, because I have like a business page for like my holistic wellness stuff. And I ended up I went back and forth, but I ended up with a group that was private, where people could invite other people to, and I could add people. And I can add you to it. I don't mind. You can take a look through what I do. But it's a group and it's private. It's just similar to the Essentially Empowered. But I don't know, because that makes it private for like, people can't just search you then and find it. So there's pros and cons. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that we like the Facebook group because we're able to get to way more people, and we can tag people in videos and other comments. And it kind of shows our friends of friends and even family that, hey, we do essential oils. And they're like, what is this? So we're getting way more engagement with that to people who have never seen essential oils. So I think for us, that's a better platform. They can ask questions. They can message us individually within that Facebook page that we have. So we get questions on the side from different stuff. So I feel that that's an easier way to even get more people interactive with it.
Cool.
Wait, so is yours, Steins, yours is a page that you like, or it's a group?
It's a business page.
That you like. Similar to like we all know Keely, Essentially Obsessed, like she has her business Facebook page. Yeah. I also feel like the page is better, maybe if you want it to be for users and people who are not users yet.
Yeah.
Because I feel like liking a page is a lot less of a commitment than joining a group. So for like new leads and stuff, like new people, having them just be like, oh, here, if you like my page, I put a lot of information out on there, versus like, oh, let me add you to my group. Then people feel kind of like they're committed to something almost.
That might make it help like be a little different than the Essentially Empowered too, so they don't feel like it's one more thing.
Totally. Yeah, for sure. I should I'm like sitting here like, I should probably have a Facebook page by now myself, as you guys, all my downline is killing it with your social media.
But that's the thing too. Send it, like if you don't have that and you want the platform, send them our way. Like at least they can get
totally
and DIYs, and we have videos we pin for making rollerballs.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking is like, is it worth creating my own page with where I'm at right now? Or should I just have whoever, I think would work well with whoever go like your pages. Probably smarter.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it'll
plus
help.
they can look at it without even liking it. They can
Yeah,
through there, so it's not like they're committed to like getting all this information all the time.
totally. Cool. Well, good thing we brought that up.
Yes.
The other thing that we wanted to bring up and see if you guys would be interested in being involved with is doing a monthly online class. So we've had online classes before, like you guys all, I think, participated and sent people, or at least watched the one that like Missy, myself, and Clara and Audra did together. But Missy and I were talking, and we were thinking it'd be really cool to just have a monthly online class that everyone on my team could send people to, and we could maybe take turns teaching it so that, not everyone is teaching it. And we aren't all teaching an online class every single month. And I think that's always better when there's more people attending the online class. So if we're all inviting people to it, we're likely to have a greater amount of people participating. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that, guys? Is that something you'd be interested in being a part of?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I would definitely, like, I don't know if we took turns or whatever, like each of us maybe have strong points and you just teach different classes and offer kind of like a series, like month after month or whatever. I definitely think it'd be beneficial. I do like the idea too that Audra had about having your own like 101 video, like recording. But on top of that, I also like the just online like classes like that people can like join, jump on.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be a cool dynamic to have everyone who's comfortable, at least. I am terrible at being online, but I need to work on it. So, like teaching and stuff, because I always don't look at the camera and I'm always fidgeting. But anyways, like I think of like the people that I meet and encounter who are like interested in the emotional side of oils. I personally, that's not my strength. And like, I love to send people to you for that, Jill. Right. So like if we had 1 month, for where you're teaching that, and, like everyone has, like you said, their different strengths that they're strong in teaching about. And so that way we can be supporting each other with our leads and inviting people to those classes.
I want to learn from the Steins about dogs.
Me too.
I hear you guys are experts.
We were just talking about that and maybe doing a class, but Sarah wants to get more comfortable and confident with it before doing an online one, maybe.
Yeah.
We haven't taught a dog class yet.
Well, and I feel like there's like with people, it's very straightforward, but with animals, there's certain oils you cannot have around them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it gets interesting because you don't want to lead somebody in the wrong direction. Like I made the mistake of using Melaleuca on my old dog, and his eyes like swelled up and got all puffy. And then now I have a book, and it's like, don't use Melaleuca. I'm like, whoops. So I don't really want to be responsible for anybody's pets.
Yeah.
But eventually,
Having allergies and stuff. But yeah, eventually I definitely want to do that. And that's definitely our goal. And actually, Anna, although you guys know Anna, she's one of my builders. She's very into it too. So
Oh, cool.
soon.
I think that an online class too would all make us more accountable each month. If like you're going to be the one doing the video, like you're going to invite more people. Like if we have this each month, like we're all going to be more engaged with like making sure we're inviting people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, before I forget, Sarah, you have the A-OK on going to that watering bowl place. Remember how we talked about how Carradine was, you're clear to go for sure.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. And she already planted seeds there. So that's awesome.
Thanks.
Anybody else have anything to say on that? No? By the way, hi, Beth. Welcome.
Hi, Jen.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm still detoxing from all the sugar I ate in Baltimore.
Sorry.
Not your fault. I have some control issues. Okay, so should we get started?
Can't avoid the Hershey's factory.
I know. Man. I've eaten more candy since then too, so it's just my own issues, Cool. Okay, so let's get started on this. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see what Missy and I have put together. But basically, well, let me just real quickly say, Missy and I kind of put this together because we were feeling like what we have, the resources we have are incredible, but something that I've really just like coming back from leadership been kind of wanting to go towards is consolidating information that new builders need to know, so we don't overwhelm them. Because I think we've all sent builders to the builder portal, and it's really awesome, but it's way more than they need when they're first getting started, especially just like brand new builder to elite. And so we wanted to kind of create a more efficient process where we're kind of walking with them through it, holding them accountable, answering questions as they go. And I talked to a few different leaders who have similar things. So Missy was awesome and helped me kind of put this together because she's so good and organized, unlike me. So this is what we have, and we're going to be using Evernote. If you guys have not used it, it's a really cool system where you can share notes with people, but it's not, you don't have to do it on Evernote. So if you're someone who's like, oh, I don't really want to learn a new system, you can just copy and paste the lists that we have and stuff and do it via email with your new builders if that works better. So let's figure out how to share my screen. Missy, do you want me to go over the vision part, and then you can start with week 1?
Perfect.
Cool. So can we all see this? Wow, I've never done this before. Sweet. Cool. So vision, when we send people to this, we want you to already have gone and done a business overview with them, right? So you already know that they're interested in building, that they're people who, you know what their goals are with doTERRA, how quick they want to move, things like that. And obviously those goals and things are going to change and evolve on their journey, but you have an idea of where they're at. You've shared some of the basic information with them, right? So with this, we want it to be no more than like 90 minutes per week that people are going to have to spend on doing this. And obviously, like when it comes to reading and stuff, it varies how much time people take to read, but 90 minutes max per week, a 30-minute call per week with the person, and 60 minutes of content. So they'll complete the content first. They'll have kind of a list of assignments. And then after that, you'll schedule a call with them and you'll go over like, okay, what are the questions you have on these topics? There's different talking points that go with it. And then the goal is by the end of this, week 4, they're teaching their first class if they haven't already. And then after they go through the boot camp, going over expectations, figuring out, okay, because they're going to go through the Starfish book. So it's going to help them kind of set some goals and things like that. And then kind of create expectations and accountability with you to figure out what the relationship is going to look like moving forward, because it's really important that we are showing up to serve, and showing up in a way that's supporting what they want to create, not what we want them to create. So figuring out what they want, asking permission to kind of speak into that. And then, going over stuff like, okay, like if this is your goal, how are you going to get there? Are you doing weekly classes? Are you committed to a monthly class? Are you doing online classes? And what do you see moving? I think that's supposed to say moving forward. So I'm going to go over to week 1 and pass it over to Missy.
Can you, is there a way to like make the side area smaller so can you guys see the whole note?
What do you mean?
Like this bar in between week 1 and then where it lists all the weeks?
Make it smaller.
Oh, never mind. I think they can move it that way. Okay, never mind.
I can see it all on my screen. Can everybody else see it?
That was my technical issue.
Oh, okay.
The way that we broke this down, like Jen was saying, was we have a list of tasks. So the goal is for them to complete the task before before you have the call. So this is their 60-minute of content, and I don't know what kind of history you guys have had with your other builders, but what's nice is I feel like what we did for week 1 was kind of made it something very doable, and you can kind of see where their commitment is. So, you know, they have to buy a book. It's not very expensive, but they have to buy a book, and at least, you know, like I've dealt with a couple of builders who are like so gung-ho, but trying to nail down a meeting or get them to watch a video or something. It was just hard to do. So the first one is what we did was we took the builder bootcamp videos that Amy made, and we've just kind of broke them into priorities. So the welcome video, a couple of the back office ones, the first couple chapters of the starfish, and then we thought starting the hundreds names list would be really good just so they can start brainstorming people. And then the talking points is what to talk about during your call. So getting them to understand the 100 PV LRP requirement, getting their website bio set up. And I don't know if anyone's seen, I just did this, but Jen has.
I can show it real quick. Do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah. So basically, it helps to answer questions for people who just go directly to your website. So it just kind of gives nice, cute little instructions to help them kind of figure it out. Again, none of this is a requirement. This is just kind of the way that our brains were coming together to make it a little bit easier for people. But just encouraging those new builders to create a bio and have it be a resource for their people. That was the that.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
I changed mine to this because honestly, I was stalking Keely because she's awesome. And I saw that hers, like I copy and pasted this from her bio. And I was like, wow, that's so smart, because I was always kind of not turned off, but like I was hesitant to send people to my website because every time I've had someone go to my website, they enroll themselves they buy retail, or they enrolled themselves as like a preferred customer, which doesn't exist anymore, but they never could figure out how to become a retail customer, or the point of becoming a wholesale customer. So this just, I think it does a really good job of explaining, you know, if they want to save 25% off retail, shop wholesale, where's different ways to shop, retail, wholesale, click, join, and save, all those different things. And it just kind of explains it. So now for me, if people are like, oh, what's your website? I'm a lot more excited to send them because there's information there that I'm not like, oh, they're going to have no idea what to do. Does that make sense? Cool.
And yeah, you can copy and paste. I did it too.
Yeah, like you literally just go like this and highlight it and copy and paste it. I'm going to have to tell her that I stole that next time I see her, because I kind of feel like she'd be fine with it.
Do you know her?
Yeah. I hung out with her for 3 days in Cancun. She's really cool. She gave me a lot of really good advice. Anyways, yeah, her husband was like, oh, I want to do CrossFit. Like, I've been wanting to get into that. Like, as we're walking to play volleyball, and we were playing volleyball, and he like tore his ACL during volleyball. I was like, oops, I guess no CrossFit.
Okay, so to continue on the talking points, attending a class if possible. So really, you know, there's a lot of people who maybe have never been to a class. Maybe it was just a one-on-one, or maybe it was just a webinar and you want to get them to a live class. So just having them experience, whether it's a recording that you send them, a live class, or just FaceTiming them in to get them to experience that. Talking about the pipeline, which you kind of go over in the business overview, but just touching on that. And then just getting their vision and why, which we all know is super important, and kind of determining their commitment and that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Week 1. And you can, what's cool about Evernote, if you guys want to use it, is, I can't do it right now, but Jen can click, like she can check it off. So if I was Jen's new builder, I would check this off and she could see that it was done. So it's just, it just kind of depends on how you want to flow, but it's a nice little system.
Yeah, I like it because it eliminates the whole texting back and forth nonstop. Like, oh, did you watch the videos yet? Oh, did you watch the videos yet? I mean, I don't know if you guys do that, but that's like, I feel like half of my life with a new builder is like, oh, did you watch the videos? Did you do this? Did you do this? And this way it's like, I can go in and I can see if they're doing it. And for me, just with the way my time is starting to fill up, like I'm not going to get on a call with a new builder until I've seen and they've, checked off that they've done these things, because then you get on a call and I'm wasting 30 minutes, like not wasting, but you're spending 30 minutes talking to someone who hasn't fulfilled the things, and our time is valuable. We need people to know that. So moving on to week 2. So for week 2, we're shifting gears a little bit. The first week is really going over like, the basics, welcome, shopping, how to like set up their LRP, stuff like that. Week 2, we start talking about, okay, how do you make money with doTERRA? So they're watching the First Things First tab, must know to make money with doTERRA. They're reading chapters 4 and 5 of Being the Starfish, and they're continuing to work on the 100 names list. And that's going to be a theme as we go through the weeks, that they're working on the 100 names list. And then talking points, a lot of these talking points, you guys, like we put these here because Missy and I both felt as we went through and watched all the videos, and we felt that as we were watching the videos, a lot of them were just kind of like long-winded ways of saying really simple things. And so that time adds up, 5-minute video plus 5-minute video plus 5-minute video. So with this, like I can verbally explain compliance to someone on a phone call in about 30 seconds instead of having them watch an 8-minute video on compliance. Then going over the compensation plan, like we talked about in the training, all they need to know is fast start, power of $3 $50 bonus, and that's it. And you can refer them to that business overview packet and the structure. Make sure that they understand team volume has to be at 600, 3 people on 100 PV LRP. And then attend a class. This is another repetitive one, but I think it's really important to get people either like live streamed into classes or attending classes, because for myself, like that's how I learned how to teach, was watching. And we want to teach a duplicatable class. So if we're doing a good job at that, people are going to come and see and feel confident in doing it. And then how to create a Facebook invite, because we use these all the time. You guys might think this is like really simple, but because you've done it a ton, but people need instruction on the right way to do it. And when I say how to do a Facebook invite, I'm not saying, okay, log into Facebook and go to, events and click create a new invitation. I'm saying like, what's important to put in a Facebook invite? What content are we feeding into the Facebook invite leading up to the class to be interactive with people that are saying they're going? What's the verbiage that we use? What does it look like to have a good quality cover photo, not something that's blurry and not good, but we want to create professionalism around our classes, especially as we're expanding our markets to people that we don't know. We want people to see our Facebook invites and be like, wow, that's awesome. I want to go to that. And so explaining how to do that well, and supporting them in creating their first one. And then on this tab, we have some reference videos. So these are some videos that we thought are really good if people are interested in them, but not necessarily required to watch if they're kind of, running low on time. So sample and invite, who and how to sample, sample overview, and then schedule classes. Cool. Week 3.
All right, so week 3 is continuing with the Starfish book, and I'm not sure if everyone has read that book, but we basically broke up the book according to what we were going through too. So you guys can take a look back and kind of see how it pairs together. But This week is focusing a little bit more on prepping the person to be able to teach. So going through all 3 of those videos. And then with the talking points, actually having them go through practicing a close would be a really good thing. And then talking about sampling. So in week 2, it talks about the reference videos for sampling, but just, the basic, like, this is where you get the sample vials and the stickers, and how many drops you put in the sample vial. And you don't have to give them 15 samples, just give them a couple based on what they're looking for. So that kind of stuff. And then to get them thinking about a class date. So Jen, we said at the end of 4 weeks to actually teach a class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Excuse me.
obviously it just depends on people's schedule and life and that kind of stuff, but just to get them to start thinking about actually getting a class in the books would be awesome. And then we just have the handling objections as a reference video. Because again, we thought that was something that you can talk about in the talking points, but it's a good one if, someone's like, hey, so-and-so said this in the middle of the class and I didn't really know what to say. It's a good reference video.
Awesome. And also, if you guys haven't, one thing that we didn't say at the beginning of this call, but I feel really strongly that if you want to use this platform, obviously none of you are required to. This is something that I'm going to be using and Missy is going to be using, and you are all welcome to use just because obviously we want to share the resource. But if you're going to use it, I want you to go through it week by week, watch the same timeline. If you're one of my builders, then I will be we'll chat every week. It doesn't need to be a 30-minute chat because clearly you understand these things, but just check in and make sure that you've gone through it. And if you have feedback or ideas like, hey, I think this would flow a little bit better, or we should add this in, we want that because obviously we're imperfect human beings. This is a brand new thing and it's going to kind of grow and develop as we use it, I think. We're going to figure out, oh, that didn't work very well and whatever. But with that all being said, with the Starfish book, there's a lot of interactive portions of that book where you're writing things down and you're being challenged to, create goals and all these different things. And that's a big part of the call as well. I want you guys knowing which part of the book they're in and being able to share. A lot of times people open up when you're vulnerable and you share where you're at with it. So sharing, oh, well, this is what I wrote. This is what I'm thinking. What are you thinking for yourself? And being able to relate like that. So, okay. Week 4, this is the last week. So they're going to be watching The Fortune is in the Follow-Up video, The Law of 4 Interactions. They're reading chapter 8 and the epilogue of Being a Starfish and creating a list of 10 people that you would like to work with. And then talking points, we're talking about teaching and co-teaching a class, making sure that's scheduled and on the books, and maybe practicing the class even, a quick go through of the thing and making sure that they know which parts they're going to teach, stuff like that. Feedback on the class if the class was taught. Who's your avatar, which we've all done that with Amy. So I feel like all of you are equipped to go over that with people and kind of figure out, okay, who's your ideal customer? Who are you targeting to work with in that way and attract to your business? And who is your ideal builder? Who are the types of people you want to work with and all of that? And then, obviously that goes along with their list of 10 people they'd like to work with. So talk to them about those people. Where are they? How do you plan on reaching out to them? Give them ideas and help challenge them in that way. And then setting up a week 5 follow-up call. And on that call, you can kind of go over, okay, what's our communication going to look like moving forward? Are we going to talk every week? Are we going to talk every other week? How can I support you? Make sure, they feel confident in all of the things that we went through. And then the reference videos are right there. Membership overview video, business overview, building a pipeline, and finding your builders. And for me, I think what I've found with new builders, the best thing to do when it comes to membership overviews, business overviews, and stuff like that is walk them through it. So when they enroll their first person and it's time for them to do a membership overview, unless there's someone who's very independent, it's like, I'm ready, I got this, I want to do it on my own, offer to go with them or be on the phone with them, and you do the membership overview, or have them shadow you on one of yours if they haven't gotten an enrollment yet. But don't just throw them to the wolves and be like, hey, go do your membership overview now. So having them watch those videos, but also really offering to like come alongside them and support them. Same thing with business overviews when they find someone who's going to be a builder. And then that building a pipeline video, if you guys haven't watched it, is phenomenal. So that's why that's on there. And finding builders. I think we could all watch that and and get great info from it. Because I know that I'm still trying to find builders. So that's all we have on here. I'm going to stop my screen share and open it up kind of for you guys. Missy, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, that was perfect. I watched the Finding Builders video recently, and I had never watched it before, and it was really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a good video. So now I kind of want to just open it up to you guys to give feedback, ask questions, let us know what you're thinking. And yeah.
We really liked it.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's a really awesome, easy starting point for people. I wish that we had that when we were starting, just because it was so overwhelming, and at least Sarah really jumped in and she helped me along the way. But I think it's awesome, and I want to know how we can get that note thing, because I've never used it. But how do we use that?
It's a website. It's just evernote.com, and then there's like you can get an app for your Mac, you can get an app for your phone. So yeah, we can I think, Jen, what we can do is we can just share it to all of our builders, so you can just have access to it and play with it.
Yeah.
What's nice is there's a chat feature too, which Lauren and I played with it for a little bit, but it's nice to be able to like keep your text messages separate. So you could like keep communication there, so at least it's not your phone blowing up all the time. That
is cool. Yeah, I'm not the best technologically, if y'all haven't noticed yet. So Missy is kind of the specialist with Evernote. But it's honestly pretty user friendly. Like, I'm retarded when it comes to that kind of stuff. And sorry, I know that's like a derogatory term now. But it's free. You download it, and then when we share it with you, you'll just have it in your dashboard and you can click on it. And then when you have builders, you can invite them to create an Evernote account. Or if there's someone that's like, we all have those people that are like in their 60s or 70s on our team, and they're like, don't know how to do anything on technology. And so you can always copy and paste these lists into emails if they're not comfortable creating an Evernote. But I think the majority of people that we work with will be cool with using Evernote. And I think a lot of people use it too, actually, already. Like, I wasn't using it already, but there's a lot of people that use it. So cool. Anybody else? Jill, what do you think? I'm going to call people out now.
No, I was curious. I was going to ask about the Evernote stuff, but I'm like, I'll figure it out once I get into it. But I was curious if it would be something where, like, if you have multiple builders, like, you just have, like, when you're checking tasks, like what they're doing, is it very like user friendly where it's like one like share after the other, like one builder after the other, where you can check their tasks? Or is it like, I guess I'll learn all these things when I start using it, but just questions I had.
Sharing my screen really quick, because I don't think Jen has very many folders right now, but I have a ton.
I don't.
Let me see.
I think that each builder would have a separate folder, correct, Missy?
Yeah, so what you can do is share, I hope there's no patient names here, so I don't breach HIPAA, but can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So you can have different, these are all notebooks, and then like in my doTERRA notebook, I have all these notes on my left side. So you can kind of organize them that way.
Okay, cool.
And then there's like the chat down here where you can have different conversations going on and stuff.
Cool.
I would say the biggest issue that Lauren and I came across is if you're like, we wanted to have a document where I could type and she could see, and then she could type and I could see, but we weren't able to do that because something with whoever creates the Evernote is the only one who can edit for them to see. So like if your new builder tries to go in and type on that document, because they didn't make it, you're not going to be able to see it.
So will we be able to see the check marks then, like for what they've completed?
That's all you'll be able to see.
Ah, okay.
But that could totally, and Lauren can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that could be a user thing that we just haven't figured out.
Well, I almost think that's kind of cool because they could maybe make their own personal notes or write down their questions and stuff that, on it as they're going along. So
That's true.
Let's be optimistic, people.
Okay.
Glass half full. Lauren, I know that you're pretty familiar with it already, but do you have anything that you want to add or say?
No, I was just going to chime in too and say that I think the biggest frustration for me was what Missy just talked about with not being able to edit the note. But if you send it, I guess just as primarily like a checklist, like Jillian was talking about with, sending it to your builders and using it as a checklist, if you can check it on your own, I think that's fine. I really feel like it's the best thing to like help keep myself organized. I feel like, finding builders and all that is just in itself overwhelming when you get started, even just with one. And so I think my biggest thing is just having some sort of organizational tool, and Evernote really is super organizational and very user friendly as far as that goes, and like creating your own folders. So, I mean, I'm game with using Evernote. I sometimes use Google Docs and Google Drive though, just for like if I wanted to share the note and needed someone to edit on it, and you can both see it, but it could just be that I'm stupid with Evernote and don't know how to figure that out. So, but yeah.
I've used Google. I've always used Google Docs myself for all that kind of stuff because I didn't know Evernote existed, but I'm excited to play around with it and use it more in other areas of my business. So hopefully if you guys are using it, it becomes even more of a resource than just for this. Like you can use it for other things too. Like Missy, I saw that you have your 100 names list on there, which is really cool. Yeah, because I always lose mine and then I have to rewrite it because you know me. Misorganization.
Oh, sorry, I'm not muted.
Cool. Well, anybody else have anything to say? So Missy and I were talking, and like for any of you who are wanting to hop on board with this, we're gonna kind of send it to you in the next couple of days, let you kind of check it out, and then have everyone kind of start at the same time going through it. I think we said next Monday, so like the second Monday of May. And then we can all kind of go through it. And I would love, seriously, everybody's feedback as you're going through it yourself. And if you feel like there's something missing that people really need, or, something that's, you're like, I don't really think that needs to be in there, whatever, like share your thoughts and ideas, because this is for all of us. So. Cool. Yeah. You guys, there's only 6 of us on this call, so y'all don't need to be muted as long as you know how to not like interrupt, which I'm still working on.
I keep coughing, so I didn't want to just like cough the whole time. Sorry.
Yeah, between our 2 dogs and 2 roommates.
Oh.
Going.
Missy, were you going to say something?
I was just saying hi to the dog.
Oh.
She's sleeping.
Okay. Well, guys,
together.
I love you all.
How do we want to coordinate the weekly or monthly online class with all of us?
Right.
You want to be in charge of?
I mean, if everyone's game, I would be down to just do like a rotation. You know, like I think that I prefer, Jill and I were just talking about this last night, I prefer to co-teach classes. I just think that with me and my brain, like I draw blanks a lot, and it's good to have someone to play off of, and especially with an online class where no one's really talking back to you, it's good to have two voices. So, I mean, I guess we can just.
Jen, do you mean like have two people, like you'd sit together and teach, not like you bounce screens? Because that's when I think it'd be like maybe a little bit more disruptive if like you forget something and I'm in a different place and I'm like, and also, like I just jump in. So I don't know, maybe think about just having two people together on one screen. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually like that better myself as well. I mean, I know that some, like when we did that one between the four of us, we were changing screens, and it like, to me, I agree. It's like a little bit of a pain changing the hosts and stuff like that. And I think once a month, like, and we're not even all going to be actually doing it once a month. It's not that big of a deal to get together because we all live in the same area-ish. So I know. Go ahead.
Didn't we say the third week?
Yeah, third week. And I think we were saying Thursdays, right?
I think so.
Thursday nights are usually a good night.
Flexible, just whoever's doing it that month, right?
Yeah. So this month, that would be on the. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. The date.
What about with like Zoom? Because not everybody has like a Zoom account.
Right.
Well, I have access to, I believe I still do. At one point I did. I haven't ever actually needed to use it, but I have access to Amy's Zoom account. And I know Missy and Lauren have a Zoom account that we're on right now. Didn't you guys get a Zoom account, Steins? So you guys have one. So between all of that, as long as everyone's cool with sharing their Zoom accounts, I think we should be fine, since it's kind of for the common good and we're all going to be inviting people. So the third week of May is, or the third week, third Thursday is the 18th. Does anyone feel so inclined to be like, I want to teach the first one? Like I will, if someone wants to teach it with me, I don't mind.
I will be out of town.
When was it? Sorry, the what?
Thursday the 18th.
What time are we thinking about doing this?
What time did we say, Missy?
I think we decided
7 Mountain
around
Standard?
6 or 6:30, just because of the East Coasters. Like I think that.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 or 6:30. So let's just say 6. Yeah.
Is the first one just a regular 101, or are you going to do some sort of topic?
I don't know. I haven't even thought about it yet, to be honest. Do you have any ideas for topics?
No, I was just curious.
Okay, well, I'm going to call you and make you volunteer as tribute to co-teach with me, Lauren.
Okay, I'll be there.
And then I can make you let me play with Maddox too, so it'll be great. And we can chat and figure that out. But why don't you guys check out your schedules, and maybe, does anyone have a good resource for like a sign up thing for that type of thing? Or do you guys just want to communicate through text? You know what I'm saying?
You never know.
Evernote.
Is there a way to do an Evernote for that?
Or a Google Doc maybe, actually, because everyone can edit that.
Oh, yeah.
We're all on Evernote, though. We could do like a work chat.
Okay, so y'all's homework is to create Evernote accounts, and then we'll get something going to communicate who's teaching when, and just start a rotation. And like, I don't think it needs to be like a super uniform, like, well, I taught last month, so I'm not teaching for 3 more months. Like, I think we can all work together and fill in gaps, you know, obviously with travel and life. So.
And I think by the time, like, you know, since you're doing the first one, if I can get together, since now I have my books for the dog stuff, like ours will be the dog one, and I get Anne involved too.
Cool, for sure. Do you guys have opinions, just because I'm not good at the whole online stuff, on like how soon a event should be put out and stuff? for an online class, and do we want to make it like a Facebook event, you know, that we invite people to, or?
Yeah.
I've always gone with the rule of thumb, like 2 weeks before.
So I should wait, or is 3 weeks too long?
But it's tough because, like if it was like an in-person event, it would be like 4 to 6 weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know if we want to create another Facebook group. I don't know.
Third Thursdays. Because we have to have something for people to remember. Like, if it's not going to be a specific date every month, we have to have like a slogan that like they'll always remember that it's going to be like the third Thursday, like double TH. I don't know.
Yeah.
Double TH.
Post the recording there, right?
Yeah.
Or like,
So do you mean like a Facebook group that we can continue to add people to see the classes?
I don't know. I'm going to leave that open to everyone else because of the feedback.
I see Kristen shaking her head. She's like, no.
Like no more groups.
Too many. Yeah, I mean, I think creating a Facebook event is efficient because, again, a group is a really big commitment, and an event is going to happen and then it's going to disappear. And we can still have the recordings, but I mean, if we're consistently doing them every 3 weeks, do we really need the recordings aside from in that group for a few days after for people who missed it? No, I don't think so.
I agree with the event. I think that's really efficient, but I also think too, like, I don't know if I got this from Keely or someone, but like not spamming people too is like a big thing. So I feel like Facebook is such a good platform, and a lot of times I'll just be like if I'm going to put a post up now from my Instagram account, and I'll just say like, hey, teaching a free webinar on Wednesday with Missy, let me know if you're interested and I'll add you. And then people can reach out to you, because I just feel like it's too overwhelming if you're just constantly like, and I might have only invited 5 people this time, but I think it's probably good instead of like throwing it in everyone's faces too.
Yeah, definitely don't add people to the group until they've expressed interest in being a part of it. Or to the event. But
that's at least good. Then you're getting an RSVP or whatever. And
sure.
Facebook reminds them like, hey, you have this event coming up. But
for sure. So maybe a buy-in of like 2 weeks prior. So the first Thursday of the month, the event is created and shared with each other so that we all, know the topic, if there's a topic, and the details and all of that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
The one thing I was going to say is, so like I am in this event for yoga at the View House, and what they do is every month they just update the new time to the next Tuesday that they're going to have it on the next month. So like you could potentially, I don't know how that works, but use the same event and just always update the date. After we complete one event, then we update it to the next third Thursday, and with the new like title of like what the next topic will be. And
so then if people want to stay in, they can stay in, and if they want to leave it, they can
leave it. Yeah, because that way you're not having to re-invite the same people all the time, but people can like leave it if they don't want it. I don't know, it's just an idea. And the other thing is to like, maybe we should strategize how we're going to close, in the sense that everyone will be inviting their people. And so we just need to be mindful of like, don't always buy from whoever's hosting it or doing it, but make sure to go to whoever invited you or whatever, however that goes. But
yeah. Well, one thing that I took from Keely, and I don't remember where she said this, if it was on the thing that she did with Mary or what, but she was like, I always send people back, even if they're not on my team. Like when I teach an online class, I always just say, okay, if you want oils, go ahead and get in contact with the person who referred you to this class. And so I think that that's honestly the best way for us to do it. I don't like the whole online credit card portal weird website thing. Like I can't handle it unless someone else wants to take ownership of it. Everyone's like, no. So I think
I don't even know what that means.
I don't think that any of us, I mean, it's awesome if we have 10 people each in these classes, but I don't foresee that necessarily being the thing. Usually it'll probably be like 3 or 4 people each. And so, you know, maybe even finding a system of setting a follow-up, you know, time with each person, you know, I don't know.
I think it's nice to have a free thing, like if you enroll that night. Because I think that's why Amy was doing the payment portal, was to like remove that obstacle of someone signing up. So I don't know if we'd be open to like a DIY gift or like a small roller or something like that each time. Whoever's teaching can look into that.
Yeah, totally. Okay, guys, it's 9:01. I'm going to put us at a hard stop, as Amy and Audra would say. Does anyone else have anything else they want to say, thoughts they want to express? Well, thank you all. Thanks. I love you all and appreciate you very much. And I'm excited to see you all hit your goals this month.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stop the recording now because